Welcome back to our channel, folks. Today we have an incredible story to tell you, the mysterious tale of DB Cooper. In just 5 minutes we're going to dive deep into one of the most famous unsolved mysteries in American history. So buckle up, because this is the story of DB Cooper. Our story begins on November 24th, 1971. A man using the alias Dan Cooper boarded Northwest Orient Airlines, Flight 305, a Boeing 727 in Portland, Oregon, headed for Seattle. Mid-flight, Cooper handed a note to flight attendant Florence Schaffner, claiming he had a bomb and was hijacking the plane. Upon the request of Schaffner, he opened his briefcase, revealing wires and red sticks, convincing the crew and passengers he meant business. Schaffner then wrote a note of Cooper's demands and delivered it to the cockpit, informing the pilots and the rest of the crew of the situation unfolding. Captain William Scott told Schaffner to remain in the cockpit for the rest of the flight. Flight attendant Tina Mucklow remained in the cabin and acted as a liaison between Cooper and the flight crew. Cooper demanded $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck standing by in Seattle to refuel the plane for a getaway. By requesting 4 parachutes, Cooper eliminated the chance of being supplied faulty parachutes, as no one could be certain that they weren't intended for use by a hostage. The flight entered a holding pattern close to Seattle whilst the airline cooperated with the FBI and gathered the ransom. Every single dollar bill that was to be a part of the ransom was recorded into a database. Once the ransom had been secured and delivered on the ground in Seattle, Cooper released the 36 passengers in exchange for the money and parachutes. With his demands met, he ordered the remaining crew to fly him to Mexico, maintaining a low altitude and flying with the landing gear deployed. After a short back and forth over safety issues with his demands, the flight took off. Cooper initially insisted on the plane being flown with its rear stairs deployed, but eventually reached a compromise. He decided he would deploy them himself mid-flight, due to the less than usual configuration that Cooper had made the crew fly with. The aircraft was unable to make it to Mexico before needing to refuel. Cooper and the flight crew agreed on a refueling stop in Reno, somewhere over the rugged terrain of the Pacific Northwest. Cooper opened the rear stairway door and parachuted into the night, disappearing into the wilderness. When on the ground, the flight crew cautiously ventured into the cabin. They found no sign of Cooper or the bomb, only his clip-on tie and 2 of the 4 parachutes were left behind. Despite an extensive search, no trace of Cooper was ever found. The FBI launched one of the most extensive investigations in its history, but Cooper's true identity and whereabouts remained a mystery. Over the years, several theories and suspects emerged. At the beginning of the investigation, it was considered a possibility that the hijacker may have used his real name when addressing the flight crew. Subsequently, a Portland man named DB Cooper was questioned by police. He was, however, quickly ruled out as a suspect. Shortly after this, reporter James Long was rushing to meet a deadline and inadvertently used the suspect's name instead of the alias used by the hijacker. Ever since, despite referring to himself as Dan Cooper, the hijacker became known widely by the name DB Cooper. After a long period of on and off investigation, the FBI finally suspended active investigation into the case on July 8, 2016. This meant that, although they would still act upon any new leads pertaining to discoveries of physical evidence, any speculative search and investigation efforts would no longer take place. Early errors in the calculation of the flight path and jump zone meant that investigators were likely looking in the wrong place during the most crucial times. As a result, any evidence likely to surface has almost certainly been heavily displaced and possibly even destroyed. To this day, the case of DB Cooper remains unsolved. It would be fair to say at this point that, against all odds, the man known as DB Cooper got away with hijacking an American commercial flight. Some believe he perished in the wilderness, while others think he managed a daring escape and lived out his days under a new identity. We will likely never know what truly happened to Cooper after he left the aircraft on that night, but efforts to guess or ascertain what happened to him will last for many years to come. And there you have it, the incredible story of DB Cooper in just 5 minutes. What do you think happened to him? Do you have any theories or thoughts? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more intriguing stories like this. Thanks for watching.